think it's working. I think it's working. I think I'm live. Okay. Hello. Okay, it says receiving your content. This is good. Okay. If anyone's there, hello. I am not sure. Okay, I just appeared. Oh god. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I guess I'll tweet that I'm live. Sure. Okay, hello. I'm Monica, and today I am unhauling some books. Oh, the chat's working. Hello. Painted Ruefully. I like your username. That's really cool. Yeah, today is going to be exciting. Sorry. I wasn't fully expecting it to work. I was like, I don't know if you any of you have ever tried to do a live thing on YouTube, but they have you download this weird app and it's yeah. Hello. Hi Jenny. Oh gosh, hello, there's people. Oh, hi Peanut, thank you. Hello from Greece. That's so cool. I wish I were in Greece right now. It is so cold in New York City today, and all I want is to be. I mean, I'm just assuming it's warm in Greece. It might not be. I remember I went to Greece once when I was in college, and it was the first day of spring break, and it snowed. So I guess I shouldn't assume what the weather is like. What is the weather like in Greece? Is it nice there? Poland? Oh, that's so cool. I've always wanted to visit Poland. Um, yeah, so today I am. Oh, it's cold in Greece. Well, I'm sorry that it's cold in Greece, but I mean, at least you're in Greece. I think that's really cool. Thank you, Sulika. Thank you. I need to re-dye it real badly. So hopefully I'll do that soon. But today, I'm excited because, oh, Buxy's in France. I just came back from France. How is France? I miss it a lot, but I'm happy to be back in the US too. But today I'm excited because I'm doing a book unhaul kind of shelf tour thing. I don't think I'm going to do the entirety of both shelves because I just feel like that'll take 10 hours and nobody has that kind of time. So I'm just going to kind of do as much as I can until I think it gets boring, and I guess we can just go from there. And then I'll do kind of a Q&A. So if anyone has questions or anything, I'm really bad at doing Q&As. I've tweeted out that I'm going to do one once before, and I did a video saying I was going to do one once before, but then I'm really bad at actually making the video. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer any. Other than that, I think I'm going to jump into the actual books. So I'm going to start up here on this shelf. So I guess I should say why I'm unhauling so many books. So I very much was inspired. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Kristen from over at Super Space Chick. She recently did the condo method and got rid of a bunch of books, and I love that idea, and I'm gonna be moving in a month and a half, and I just don't want to have to deal with all of these. So my hope is to get rid of at least a third of the books that I own, which I don't think should be that hard because a lot of the books that I read last year were from the library, and so a lot of these books are ones I've had for so long and I haven't read, and I need to just let things go. And also the books that I have read that I know I'm never gonna read, or reread. Yeah, I just have to say goodbye. So I'm gonna start off up here, this top shelf area. Let me make sure that, yeah, this top shelf area. So up here I have 4 books. The Picture of Dorian Gray. I love this edition. It has Ryan Gosling on it. And it says, "Hey girl, I'd sell my soul for you." I think that's great. I can't give that away. The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, which is one of my favorite books of last year. So gonna keep that one. And then these two, also 2 of my favorite books from last year. So that was easy enough. Keeping all of those. Also, now you guys get to see what I'm like in real life and how awkward I am and why I have so many jump cuts in all of my videos. But next 5 books. So first we have Never Let You Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, who I love. But I've never liked any of his books as much as I loved, God, what is it? The one with the butler. I don't remember the name. Oh my gosh, it's like one of my favorite books ever. Anyways, this one I thought was good, but I'm keeping it because I still love the author. 3 Ian McEwan books: Sweet Tooth, Enduring Love, and Saturday. I'm actually going to get rid of all of these. Sweet Tooth was fine. It was not the best. But I just feel like I'm not really, I don't know, I never feel super motivated to read McEwan's books anymore. I think I kind of got burned by too many of them not being amazing. I loved Atonement, but yeah, I'm just gonna let that author go because it just hasn't worked out for me since then. Then I have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath and Jane Eyre. Gonna keep both of these because, obviously. So I'm gonna put these back. And these other ones. Okay, so I'm gonna grab these. So then I have this section. So this is sort of my, like, adult literary shelf here, but to be honest, nothing on my shelf makes sense. This is why I haven't done, like, a proper bookshelf tour before, because my books are just not beautifully organized, and it kind of makes me sad that they're not. So I've never done, like, a proper bookshelf tour because of that. But when I move, I'm hoping to be better about how I organize my books, and then I'll do an actual bookshelf tour then. But I have Charles Bukowski's Ham on Rye, which I love, and I have a full review of that, in case you're wondering. Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. This might be a little controversial, but I think I'm going to unhaul this one because as much as I love Roxane Gay and I wanted to love this book, I just didn't. And I think it's because it's definitely more personal on the personal essay side as opposed to actually discussing feminism. And I ended up just not really loving it as much as I thought I was going to. So it kind of breaks my heart, but I'm going to have to unhaul that one. Then I'm going to keep the rest of these. So I have the Book of Iran. Oh, that is Twitter. Okay, I'm going to mute my phone. So I have the Book of Iran, which I got in a book outlet haul a long time ago, but I still want to keep it. I actually forgot that I owned it until just now. But it's like a World War II story, and it follows children who I believe are in concentration camps. And it's gotten amazing reviews last year when it came out, so I'm gonna keep it, and hopefully I will actually read it, but I feel bad giving it away. Then I have All My Friends Are Superheroes, which is a lovely book about people who have, like, really mundane superpowers, and it's great. And 2 Virginia Woolf books, A Room of One's Own and Mrs. Dalloway. And I really want to read Mrs. Dalloway. I loved A Room of One's Own. Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, which I'm halfway through, and then stopped reading because I think some other book came out, and I still really want to read it, so I'm gonna keep those. I'm gonna check the chat, though, see what's happening. Is it Frozen? What is Bad Feminist about white feminists? It's not. It's a series of personal essays, basically kind of looking at, like, the expectations for women, both from, like, society and also just, like even just, like, sort of the expectations that we have as feminists for other feminists, and how they're sometimes hard to meet. But Roxane Gay is, like, amazing. If you aren't following her on Twitter, you totally should. She's wonderful. And I definitely want to read her other work. I want to read Dangerous Women, just came out, and that one sounds amazing. So, yes. Remains of the Day. Wait, is that it? Yes! Remains of the Day. That's the book that I love. Thank you. Trying to see. Been on the fence about reading Bad Feminist for a while. Would you recommend it? Does it discuss intersectionality? I didn't love the book. I think for me it's a lot more personal. So it's not really, even though the title is Bad Feminist, a lot of the essays are, like, there's one about her doing Scrabble and going to like Scrabble competitions. So yeah, it's like there's a couple in there that are about feminism, but it's not the whole thing, which I think is fine. If you like personal essays, I totally would recommend reading it. I mean, Roxane Gay is very much so an intersectional feminist. She's a woman of color, and she is a fantastic person. And I was super happy that she canceled her book with, I'm forgetting the publisher's name. I don't think it's not Random House, but yeah, it was a whole thing. Have you read We Are the Ants? If not, do it. What is that one about? Should I read it? I need to. Do you think you would have liked the book had it been marketed differently? I don't know. I'm not a huge personal essay fan. If I want to read like personal stories, I tend to like memoirs, which are a lot longer. So I don't think I would have. I don't think I like personal essays that much if they're like actually more personal stories and not so much like about culture in some way, if that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna keep all of these right here. So I don't know if you can see these, but I have Chang Rae Lee's Native Speaker, which is about a Korean man whose wife leaves him, and it's sort of about like identity, because he's American. So it's sort of about like identity when you are not white and living in America. And I still want to read it, even though I haven't yet. Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin. I've been saving this for when I start missing San Francisco, so that I can because it's set in San Francisco. It's like a contemporary story about people living in SF in the 70s. I used to live in SF, not in the 70s, but I still haven't started missing San Francisco because I tend to go there constantly. I don't know if you could hear outside. I live in New York, so sometimes cars just are loud. I don't know. Ali Smith's How to Be Both. Evelyn Woe's Brideshead. That's probably not how you say her name. Brideshead Revisited. Brideshead Revisited. Zadie Smith's On Beauty, and How to Build a Girl by Caitlin Moran. I haven't read On Beauty yet. I recently read Swing Time, and I actually didn't like it. So if anyone's read Swing Time and her other books, do you think I would like her other books? Let me know, because I'm kind of, I don't know, I was real sad that I didn't like Swing Time, because I really wanted to love Zadie Smith. So The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I'm never going to read this. I'm just going to watch the movie. So we're going to unhaul that one. I got some notebooks. Put that under there. I have like this group of books: The Selection, Talon, I. Justine's book, the Robert Jordan first book in the Wheel of Time, Eye of the World series, Those Girls, which is like a new adult book, and this middle grade book by Lauren Oliver called Curiosity House. All of these I'm unhauling because some of them I was sent, some of them I've had for ages and just haven't read because I am the worst. I just dropped so many things. Okay. Over here, I kind of think I want to keep all of these ones too. These are all books that I don't see myself just like not ever wanting to read. I just think I'm in the mood for them right now, or I've read them and I like them. So yeah, the shelf is done. Yay! And I've unhauled a pretty substantial stack of books, which I would show you, but you are in a very precarious situation. So, Sarah! Hi! Oh, I miss you. Don't watch or read Girl on the Train. It's so terrible. Okay, I did just get Night Film. I don't think I told you that yet, and I think that's gonna be my, like, mystery story of choice. About the Korean man in the States. Sorry, I missed that. So Fina, it's Native Speaker by Chang Rae Lee, in case you're interested. And if that interests you, then I would also recommend checking out Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. And this is about, I talked about it in my most recent book haul, but it's basically a multi-generational story following a Korean family set in like the 1900s, early 1900s in Korea, like so during the whole like conflict with Japan. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. Okay, so now on to, yeah, Natalie, I want to read it so bad. I started the first chapter. I did like try a chapter video that I'm gonna have to watch through the footage, but I think I'm gonna put that up soon. So I read the first chapter of it, and the first chapter made me cry. So I'm really excited. Okay, so this shelf, I have the two P.S. I Still Love You books, which I love. I talk about them pretty often on my channel because they're great. They're wonderful contemporaries, and I love the Korean representation, so totally keeping those. Then we have these other Jenny Han books, which I'm going to be 100% honest, I bought because they're beautiful, and they were on Book Outlet for so cheap. But if I'm being honest with myself, and I'm doing the condo thing, like I'm holding the books in my hand, I'm looking at them, do they bring me joy? Not really. Am I ever going to read them? Well, I've had them for ages, and I haven't read them, so that's probably a no, right? So I think I'm going to unhaul them and just be really sad because they are so beautiful. Although this one has like a mark on it, so yeah, it's fine. So I'm going to unhaul those, and make my peace with that. I am not going to unhaul the Summer I Turned Pretty series because I love it. I don't know. Rainbow Rowell, no, they're all staying. The Perks of Being a Wallflower, one of my favorite books of all time. I love it. I love the movie. I love everything about it. It's great, so keeping that. Then I have Amy and Roger's Epic Detour and Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I read Amy and Rogers, and I love it. It's one of my favorite contemporaries. Made me cry so much. And Second Chance Summer I haven't read yet, but because I do love Morgan Matson's writing, I'm going to keep that one. I have my A Monster Calls book, which one of my favorite books of all time, so obviously keeping that one. This probably shouldn't go on this shelf. I feel like this entire shelf is like pastel and happy, and then you have like death. So, oh well. None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio. I'm actually going to unhaul this one because I know someone who I want to give this book to, basically. And I love that book. It's great. It has an intersex protagonist, and it's a contemporary story about her experience with that. So, Dylan the Reader, if I could recommend one LGBT plus book, what would it be? It depends. I mean, I did really like I.W. Gregorio, it's not the author, None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio. It's not Own Voices, though, so I would definitely look into Own Voices reviewers to see if they liked this book or not. But I do like the fact that the author is a doctor who specifically works with kids who are intersex, and so she just she's able to give a lot of information, so it's helpful, I think, if it's something that like is a topic that is very like different to you, or just to like normalize things that should be normal in our society anyways. But yeah, that one was good. That's a good like contemporary story. I love Carry On. This one is also not on Voices, so I probably shouldn't recommend that one. Currently reading what's it called? The new book in the I don't remember the name of it. The one by Seanan McGuire that everyone raves about. Every Heart a Doorway. Read Every Heart a Doorway for a good LGBT plus book. It's amazing. It like just has my heart. It's wonderful. Honor Girl is an amazing. Yeah, I've heard Jenny. Yeah, I was about to say Jenny King just said that one was good. Yeah, I really want to read Honor Girl at some point in the future. I need to get it first, but let me see. Okay, I'm gonna hop back into the books then. So basically I just have a bunch of contemporaries here, and I'm not gonna get rid of all of them because actually I'm gonna get rid of this one, My Life Next Door, because I've had it for ages and I haven't read it yet, and it doesn't really speak to me anymore like it used to, I held it in my hands, it doesn't give me joy, so it's going off. But I love Sarah Dessen with all my heart, so I can't get rid of her. And I loved Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. We Were Liars. Oh, this one. Isla and Happily Ever After. I'm like, I think the only person who hates this series, but loves this book. Like everyone else I know loves the other books and hates this one. But I am never going to reread this, and I just don't need it. So, also going to unhaul that one. And my niece loves reading, so she's going to have a fun time getting to like pick through all of these. Hi, Liz! Oh, I miss you. I miss everybody. Hi, how are you? What is your favorite, Tanya, what is your favorite fantasy book? Okay, so, other than Harry Potter, because obviously, my favorite fantasy book is probably The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, which I feel like is another one that's really hyped up here on BookTube, but for good reason. I haven't had anyone who, like, in my real life who I recommended that book to, I haven't had anyone say, like, I didn't like that. So, that's always the one that I tend to recommend to anyone, especially people who, like, don't like fantasy, because even though it is very high fantasy, I feel like it is really easy to get into. Like, if you liked Harry Potter, I feel like anyone who liked that would love The Final Empire. So good, and so many like mind-blowing moments. It just, yeah, not over that book. I still have to continue with it. But other than that, if you like contemporary and you want to like dabble in fantasy, I recommend The Rest of Us Just Live Here, which is a book that has gotten mixed reviews. It's one of my favorite books of all time. But it is very, very, very much so more contemporary than anything else. A Fire and Stars, His Own Voices, female fantasy. Yeah, I am actually halfway through reading that one and then accidentally left it in Pennsylvania. Real sad about it. So, gonna eventually finish that one, I guess. Everything Leads to You. This is another one that's I think it's a lesbian romance between two girls. I don't know if it's Own Voices though, but it's beautiful, and there's that. Oh, and I'll Give You the Sun. It's another one. It's beautiful. I love this book so much. It made me so many tears. But those are both contemporary LGBT books. Let me see. Okay, yes. Liz says that it is Own Voices. So that's awesome. So yeah, if you want an Own Voices lesbian romance, YA contemporary, Everything Leads to You. Okay, now we're gonna go into this stack. See, this is the reason why I haven't done a bookshelf tour, is because, like, my bookshelves are not, like, they're just, like, double stacked, and they're sort of haphazardly thrown in, and I wish I had beautiful bookshelves. Like, I look at some people's bookshelves on, like, Bookstagram, and even just on YouTube, and I'm like, I want that to be my life. So, one day. Okay, so first I have Ursula K. Le Guin's The Left Hand of Darkness, which I'm keeping because I just bought that, like, right before I left the country a few months ago. You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. I DNF'd this book. This is another one that is Own Voices, LGBT. I don't know if, actually, I think it just has gay representation, but that might be wrong because I DNF'd it. So, not my thing. Gonna unhaul that one. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I think I'm one of the few people who love this book, and like I would never get rid of a Harry Potter book, even if I did hate it. Like I would keep it forever. Sophie Kinsella's Finding Audrey. Yeah, Audrey. I've heard that this is really good representation for people with anxiety, so I'm gonna keep this one and do a little bit more research on that because I have anxiety and I like reading books about that. So, The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. I'm still going to keep this because I feel like, even though I haven't read it yet, I want to read it. The Sun is Also a Star. Why does that... Oh, wait. The Sun is all... I'm blanking on what that book... Wait, is that the other Jandy Nelson book? Because I haven't read that one. I want to, though. I think, I don't think I own that one, but I want to at some point. Let me look at the comments. Have you read Josephus? He was a great feminist from the... No, I haven't. I really haven't read... I would love, actually, to go back and read, like, just classic feminist stories or classic stories with diversity in them, because definitely when I was in school, like, that it was all sort of white male authors and characters. So I definitely want to do that at some point. The sun is also a star. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The sun is also a star. I do. I own that one. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, this is on my list to read early this year, and I'm really excited too. I loved everything. Sorry, I got titles mixed up in my head. But yeah, I'll read that soon. Did you like it? Oh, and yes, someone else liked The Cursed Child. Thank you, Phoenix Flame Books. Oh, I like your title. I like your name. That's cool. I hate my my username. I don't know. Made it up one night when I was listening to They Might Be Giants, and now it's my name forever. So well. Most anticipated book to movie adaptation. Maybe The Sun is Also a Star. I'm trying to think what's coming out, what's being adapted in 2017, or not The Sun is, sorry, Everything. But I'm also blanking on like every other movie that's supposed to be adapted. Oh, Crazy Rich Asians. I think that's getting adapted. I'm reading that right now, and it's so funny that I just feel like it would make an amazing comedy movie, and I'm really excited for just like an Asian family movie, because that's not really a thing. Your name keeps them guessing. Is she Monica? She might be. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, that is the joke. But yeah. Hey, thanks, Ravenclaw represent. That's awesome. Do you have a blog? I've had mine for 4 years. That's amazing. I don't. Well, I do, but I like never write on it. I tried. I like bless everyone who can do a blog and like maintain it and writes consistently, because I've never been able to do that. Dash, what do you think of Lord Byron? I've never read anything. But if you have suggestions, let me know. That's not a book, right? That is an author. Oh my god. You would never know that I was an English minor. Maria, have you read anything by Hemingway? I have. What did I read by him? What is The Sun? I want to say The Sun is Also a Star. The Sun Also Rises. I read that one a while ago, and I really liked it. I read it when I was like going through this whole like F. Scott Fitzgerald, Hemingway, Zelda Fitzgerald phase. I read Z, which is the novelization of Zelda Fitzgerald's life, which is amazing, and apparently they made an Amazon series based around it, which I'm so excited to watch. But yeah, I went through this whole phase of just being fascinated with them, as I think a lot of people do. So yeah. Have you ever read Tao Lin? He writes a lot about Asian families and the problems facing Asian youth. Oh! I am going to remember that, because I definitely need to look that up. I haven't read anything by them. What was your major? I was a journalism major with minors in politics, focusing on European politics and English. And I haven't read Rupi Kaur. Sorry, I'm really bad at names. Rupi Kaur's Milk and Honey. I haven't. I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't, but I really want it. I see it all over Bookstagram and all of that. Do you have any Black History Month recommendations? I'm currently reading Monster by Walter Dean Myers, which is amazing. And other ones I would recommend, if you want like a YA contemporary, like something lighter, I'd recommend Tiny Pretty Things. And that one is a really great sort of exploration of what it's like for people of color, so entering traditionally white spaces. Another one that I'm really excited to plan on reading this month is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And that one I actually started a while ago and then ended up not finishing it, but they're actually... This really cool thing that New York City is doing is that they are doing like a citywide book club where everyone in the city is sort of encouraged to read the same book, and I think that's the one that's gonna get picked. But regardless, I plan on reading that one. And then the other one I would recommend is Homegoing by Jessie, if you haven't read that one yet. I feel like everyone who has read it has loved it for good reason. It's amazing. My mom was a high school English teacher and she taught Monster. That's awesome. She loves that book so much and used to have the kids actually set up the courtroom and read aloud. That's really cool. I just love like teachers who do things like that and like get students like excited about participating in things. Those are like my favorite teachers and I like remember them to this day. But I've heard from a lot of people that like Monster is one of those books that even like reluctant readers are like, they love that book. So, do you like A Court of Thorns and Roses? No, I don't know. I say no at the same time. Like, yes, is that an answer? That's my answer. Any multi or biracial main character recs? Off the top of my head, the first one I have is Jenny Han's series, the P.S. I Still Love You, and To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And that has a protagonist who is both half white and half Korean. I just came in here to you talking about Homegoing. Hello, Kaylee. Yeah, I love Homegoing so much. It's like one of those books that I wish I were in college reading that one because I feel like I could just write so much about them, but alas. Let me see. Vampire Academy, like Kisses in Portugal. Hello, Francisca or Francesca. Let me know. I haven't read Vampire Academy yet. I have them all on ebook though, so I think next time I'm traveling, I will try and pick that one up since I do have them on ebook. So yeah, eventually. Also, I'm going to Lisbon for like 10 hours, so what should I do? Yeah. I hated ACOTAR, but loved ACOMAF. Sarah J. Math still annoys me, though. Yeah, same. Literally ditto. Okay, these books. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I just got this one before This is the thing. I bought a bunch of books before I left to move to Paris, and I couldn't bring any of them with me, so I have like a lot of books. I'm just like, bought this 4 months ago, was real excited about it then, and I don't want to just like unhaul it immediately. Monsters by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. I really want to read this one. It's a Asian steampunk 1920s graphic novel comic, yeah. 100,000 Worlds is a literary fiction novel based around the comic book industry, so keeping that one. And then All the Ugly and Wonderful Things. I am going to unhaul this one because the premise doesn't really appeal to me, and it kind of just arrived. Like, I got sent that one unsolicited, so I'm just gonna let that one go. Okay, next group of books. Let's check out the chat. I feel like I should just stop doing this and just do the chat because it's easier. Also, I'm sorry if I sound out of breath. This is like so overwhelming for me. What is one book you believe every young woman should read? Oh man, every young woman? The first thing that comes to mind is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, because yes, it's amazing. At the same time, I wonder if that would be like if you had like a reluctant, I'm sorry, I'm taking this question way too seriously. But that one is amazing. I would definitely recommend that to anybody. And then as far as like an actual fiction book, for some reason, the only book that I can think of in my head is The Dividers by Libba Bray, but that one is a great series. So if you know someone who you want to get into reading and you think they'd like 1920s New York City magic, that might be a good one to have. Let me see. Are you Korean? Book World. Ooh, I like your name. I am Korean. I'm half Korean on my mom's side. So I recommend The City of Dreaming books. I love it. I haven't heard about that one. It's literally The City of Dreaming books because that sounds amazing. Can I visit that city? Is it a good city? Yeah, that one sounds amazing. Flush by Virginia Woolf is a very cute and short book. Have you read it? I haven't. Apparently I should though. Yeah. Have you read 1984? I have. I didn't love it, but that was because I read it when I was in high school and I kind of want to reread it. I remember not liking the whole like middle section that was, I felt like, it's basically the propaganda section of the book, and yeah, wasn't a huge fan. But I want to reread it because I feel like now is the time. Do you plan on reading Carve the Mark? Probably not. I like, even minus all the problematic things that people have brought up about it, which if you haven't read about that, just Google it and you'll find lots of stuff, which I think is totally valid and a totally valid reason to like not want to read a book and doesn't really make me want to read it more. But outside of that, I haven't liked any of like the Divergent series. I really didn't enjoy, and yeah. No, continue unhauling. That's what I came here for. Okay, I will continue. Sorry. These ones are The Sun Is Also Star and The Education of Margot Sanchez. I literally just hauled those, so clearly not unhauling those. Gonna move some stuff around because I don't know, let me look at what you guys are seeing. Okay, so you basically see these two shelves. Let me move you down a bit. Okay. So down here I have a pack of candles. Well, yeah. And so many candles in this room, it's a problem. The George R. Martin series, what A Song of Ice and Fire, I am tempted to unhaul these. I bought these so long ago. I stopped watching the television show because I was like, I want to read the books before I continue. No, it just hasn't happened. I tried doing it as an audiobook and I didn't love it. I don't know. A part of me like doesn't want to get rid of it because I literally get all the books and I just feel like literally like you're gonna unhaul all of these. But my sister is a huge Game of Thrones fan, so I kind of feel like she would appreciate having hard copies of the books more than I would. So, and at least they're still staying in the family, right? So I'm gonna let those go. Gonna be honest with myself, basically. Wildwood by Colin Meloy and Carson Ellis. Oh, here's the thing. I love both of these people. So Colin Meloy is the main singer from The Decemberists, which is one of my favorite bands. And Carson Ellis is his wife, and she's an amazing illustrator. She's done all of these illustrations, and all the illustrations inside, it's also signed. However, I really didn't love this book. It's very kitsch. I know I'm very kitsch, but it's like, I don't know. I think it's because it's middle grade, and I'm not usually a huge middle grade fan, no matter how beautiful the book is. But I'm still going to keep it because it's so pretty. So there's that. Maybe eventually I'll get rid of it, but yeah. The Book of Ivy. The Book of Ivy by Amy Engel. This was a huge thing on BookTube a while back, and I bought it because of all the hype. And I never read it I started it. Yeah, I'm remembering now. I started this one and I didn't like it because I was like, I know what's going to happen after the first chapter. So, goodbye. Basically. My thought is that, like, even if, like, I eventually want to read some of these books that I'm getting rid of, I'd be better off, instead of owning books that I'm not super excited about, instead just getting it as an ebook from the library. So that's what I'm going to do. These Vicious Masks by Tarun Shankar and Kelly Zekas. I really like this book. It's basically like Jane Eyre meets X-Men, and I got some mixed reviews. I thought it was really fun, and I had to look into the sequels coming out soon because I like this one a lot. But I'm going to unhaul it because I don't think I'm ever going to actually reread it. It was just like a really fun one-time read, if that makes sense. Oh, let me look at comments. The Book of Ivy is not really good, but the second one is amazing. See, that doesn't sell me though, because I had to like make my way through the first book, and yeah. I think Entangled sent that one to everyone. Wait, which one was that? I might have. Is Entangled all the ugly and wonderful things? Because, yeah. Have you read The Vegetarian yet? I haven't. I don't own it. I really want to get Human Acts. For some reason, like The Vegetarian summary synopsis doesn't super appeal to me, but Human Acts, that summary really appeals to me. So I want to read that one first, I think. Keeping books for aesthetics. Yep. That's basically what I just did. The audio narrator is terrible, Game of Thrones. Yeah, I think that's what killed it for me, is that I tried to do the audio books and I was like, this is awful. So maybe I need to just try them without that. But I feel like I'm just not passionate enough about them, you know? It's the same thing with Outlander, where I'm like, I'm intrigued to read them, but like, it's a commitment that I don't know if I'm willing to make, you know? Hi from Romania. Oh, that's so cool. I've always wanted to visit Romania. Hello. Where are you donating the books to if you are? So a bunch of them, basically I'm going to have my niece and sister look through a bunch of them to see if they want any. And then I'm going to be donating them to, oh, I forget the name of the bookstore in the city. There's a bookstore in the city. There's a really famous bookstore in the city where you can donate books and they sell them for charity. But I don't remember its name. I want to say it's McNally, but that might be wrong. If anyone knows, let me know, because I've forgotten. Or I guess I could sell them to the Strand, but I kind of feel like it's just easier to donate them. I felt the same way about The Vegetarian and read Human Acts first. It was pretty damn good. Queen Novella. I love your username. That's awesome. Well, thank you. It makes me feel good about my life choices. I still did get that book, but eventually. First I'll have to read through some of these. Do you have any books that you would never unhaul? My original set of Harry Potter books are still back home in Pennsylvania in like my childhood bedroom, and I would never get rid of those books. They're impossible to read. So, because they're like literally falling apart. Some of them have like whole chunks missing, but they mean so much to me. So, there's that. My outfit, so my dress, it's Sailor Moon, and it is from Hot Topic, which if you had told me 5 years ago I'd be shopping at Hot Topic today, I would not believe you. So, yeah. Dash, unfortunately, I don't know, I haven't really read a whole lot of like the classics, so not a whole lot of help there. Hi from Barbados. I was also thinking I should donate some of my books to our National Library. That's really cool. Yeah, I think, donating books to libraries or bookstores that give money to charity, like, I think it's always a good thing to try and do that. And hello from Barbados. Is it warm there at least? I, totally placed where Greece was and thought it was warm there. But apparently it's freezing, or at least it's cold. But I just wish it were warm, guys. I want it to be spring so bad. Oh, I hate the cold. I mean, I don't hate the cold. I actually love it. But I hate the cold when there's no snow because I'm like, what's the point? Among Others by Joe Walton. Keeping this one because it's one of Rainbow Rowell's favorite books. Yeah. I'm actually going to keep all these. Wolf by Wolf and Ancillary Justice because all of these I want to read still. I haven't, so we're going to keep them. Okay, let's grab this next chunk. Oh, God. Okay, so that was a struggle. The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. I love Alison Goodman. She is just like this hilarious Australian woman who has apparently entire closets full of Jane Austen cosplay clothes and stuff, and is a huge coffee snob. And I just really respect that. So, gonna keep that one. And also, it's Jane Austen meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so yes. Vengeance Road by Erin Bowman. I've held on to this book because of aesthetic for so long, because it's beautiful, and I also just really like Erin Bowman as an author. I think she just seems like a very nice person, so... But I don't think I'm ever gonna read it, so I'm gonna unhaul it. Oh, it hurts! The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove. This is the one where it's everyone in the world is at different times. So if you go to another country, they might be in the 1800s. And the map makers in this world basically map out time. And I think that sounds so interesting, but I've also heard this get really mixed reviews. So I've never picked it up because of that. But it is really beautiful. It's also middle grade, which I never pick up or read. So I'm going to unhaul it. This is like, ugh, I hate this. This is painful. Fallen Kingdoms I'm keeping because Morgan Rhodes. Darkest Minds by Alex. Why is this so heavy? This is like substantially more heavy than like a hardcover. The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is sort of like a classic YA dystopian story that I've had for years and I've never picked up, and I'm probably never going to. So goodbye. Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Obviously keeping this one. I love this series. And The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. Another controversial one because I didn't like this book. Oh, yeah, I feel like I'm the only person, again, who, like, didn't love it. I thought it was fine. I just am not invested enough to, like, keep it. So, goodbye. Kaylee, there's the Housing Works. Yes, that is the one. That Housing Works in New York City. That's the bookstore that I'm going to be taking a bunch of these to. Yep, we are always warm in the Caribbean. # Paradise Life. In order to see anything other than sun means I have to leave. Oh man, I want that. I want that life. Do you class yourself as a... I don't know if I understand that question. We're just gonna keep on going. I didn't like The Wrath and the Dawn either. Megan, thank you. Not alone. I don't even know why I didn't like it. Like, it like just didn't... I just didn't fall in love with it, I think, the way that everyone else did. If you were on a deserted island, pick 1 or 2 books you would like to take with you besides Harry Potter. I see you know me too well because that was what I was going to pick. I'm still waiting for my Harry Potter bind-up. Like, Warner Brothers, Scholastic keeps releasing all of these different editions of Harry Potter. They just announced new ones today. And still, no one has thought to make, like, a huge Harry Potter bind-up. Like, I want a Hermione Granger style book that I can, like, just have on display and have it be beautiful. Why is this not a thing yet? But if I were on a deserted island, a book that I would bring with me is... Oh, I don't know. Because Harry Potter is, like... Obviously, because at least that, like, comforts me. Maybe I'd choose, like, one of the Winnie the Pooh books. Because I feel like if I were on a deserted island, I would be real sad. And I would just want something to comfort me and, like, bring up my childhood. So... yeah. Jenny, who could lift up, bind up? Yeah, I know. I think it would be so, like, imagine if, like, you know, in the first Harry Potter book when Hermione comes out with that giant book and she, like, puts it on the table and it, like, makes a huge thudding sound and it's just, like, massive. Like, I just want them to make it look like that. Charles, if I was on a deserted island and I could only bring 1 book, I would bring a book about how to survive on a deserted island. That is touche. That is the smart answer. Probably should have gone with that because I have no clue how to survive on a deserted island. I'd be sunburnt. I'd be miserable. I'd probably get, like, some sort of poison ivy. I don't know. It'd be bad. What did you love about Cursed Child other than it's Harry Potter? Literally so many people hate it. I have an entire review of Cursed Child. It's like 30 minutes, but I recommend watching it at 2x. If you do watch it, that's fine if you don't. I felt very vindicated by it. I'm not going to say anything else other than that because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who is, like, waiting to see it or anything, but yeah, I felt very vindicated is all I will say. And if you want, like, actual spoilers, I have that whole video. Let's see. Okay, gonna get back to the books. So, got these ones. Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I'm just really sad that I bought this edition before seeing the beautiful UK edition. Still salty about that. This is why I am now in the habit of always looking up the UK edition for basically every book, especially fantasy ones. Ben Tripp, The Accidental Highwayman. I'm gonna unhaul this. I bought this 100% because Brandon Sanderson gave it a good review. He's the blurb on the cover. But I don't ever think I'm gonna read it, if I'm being honest. Illuminae, keeping this because I love Illuminae. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is my arc of it, so keeping that because I still haven't bought the final copy of it. And then Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta, which I've had this for so long, and I also haven't read this one either. It's just like a YA fantasy book. I'm gonna keep it. I might do try a chapter with this one and then decide if I like the writing style or not, and then go from there. But for right now, it's staying. Kaylee, my life is 80% comparing UK and US book covers and then having an internal debate over which one to buy. Pretty much for me, I don't know if you feel this. I feel like I always end up wanting the UK cover. I don't know what it is, especially fantasy. I want to know why fantasy books in the US are designed the way they are, while the UK ones are usually beautiful. I don't understand why. But other books, it's sort of hit or miss. But fantasy, I feel like across the board, UK is just always, it's not that really 80s style of cover. Do you listen to music while reading? If yes, what kind of music? I can only do instrumental music. I can't really do, I can't do anything with that where people are singing. But I have an entire Spotify playlist that I can share on Twitter at some point. But I love that. It's my reading playlist. I listen to a lot of Dustin O'Halloran, who is just an amazing composer, and I love all of his music. So if you are looking for a specific composer, I recommend checking out his music because it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to remove a couple of people. What do you think on reading books from end to the start? Oh, I've never done that. Have you done that? I've never done that. That sounds like a fascinating way to read a book, but I've never tried. Lots of obnoxious pink that doesn't fit the vibe of the book anyway. But yeah, fantasy is usually better. Yeah, they do a lot of pink. I kind of like that though. It tends to not be a negative for me. What is... Okay. I guess I'll come over... I'm trying to figure out how to situate you guys by... Okay, yeah, that works. So I can do this side of my bookcases. So I'm not getting rid of any of these because these are my Harry Potter books, my Brandon Sanderson books. Actually, yeah. Gonna get rid of The Star-Touched Queen by Roshni Chokshi. I liked this book. I do. It's a great own voices based off of Indian myth, and it's amazing, or it's good. But I didn't love it. I'm never going to reread it. I am going to read the sequel, but I'm probably going to get it as an ebook or audiobook. But it is beautiful. But I'm going to unhaul it because it doesn't bring me joy when I hold it. And that's the thing, right? That's what we're basing this off of. I am debating getting rid of all my Throne of Glass books. So, but I'm going to let myself sit on that idea for a little bit before fully deciding. Then I have over here my Jane Austen books, which I will never get rid of because I love her. And then I have An Umber in the Ashes, which I'm not getting rid of. Like the thing. The Grisha trilogy, which I love and will probably reread at some point because I love it. And I love the prince. What's his name? It starts with an F. Something like that. I love him. I don't love the Darkling. Everyone loves the Darkling, and I'm like ambivalent to them. Serafina and Shadow Scale by Rachel Hartman. I am debating getting rid of these. I read these years ago, or I read this one ages ago. And this is the sequel that came out not that long ago. but it came out so long ago that I don't remember, or it came out so long after the first book that I don't remember anything. So I don't know if I actually feel like rereading this entire thing in order to read this. But it also kind of pains me because I did really love the first book when I read it a while back. So I'm going to keep these on my shelf right now and then decide later. These are the moments that if I were filming, I would cut, but just going to keep going. I'm going to keep all of these. These are the Soulless series by Gail Carriger, which I love. If you like Jane Austen-y style books, or sort of like a spoof off of Jane Austen books, but with fantasy supernatural elements, you should check this one out. Then I have Etiquette and Espionage, which is the YA spin-off of the Parasol Protectorate, Truth Witch, Afterworlds, and Leviathan. I'm going to unhaul Leviathan because it's been forever, and keeping these ones. Then we have 4 more YA. I think these are all fantasy. I am only going to be unhauling The Girl from Everywhere by Heidi Heilig, which was good. I liked it. I'll read the sequel, but I'm probably going to do it as an ebook, and I don't need to keep it. I'm never going to reread it. I think I'm doing so well. Sorry, there's so many books on my bed right now. This is going to be a disaster later on to clean. But yeah, I've done the top 4 bookshelves, and the bottom few are kind of a jumbled mess. I think I'll do this one, and then I'm probably going to answer some questions and probably end this by like 4 p.m. I think that's a good goal to get through, but I'm going to check the chat section first. Liz, oh yes, you should also do a live one, because that one, this is really fun. I don't have a boyfriend. I am not in the same place for long enough to date anybody. Yeah, it took Rachel Hartman so long to write that sequel. It's so long. Like, why? Why so long, Rachel Hartman? Squirrel Girl Ears. Yeah, you spotted those. I'm so excited for this book. I have the book. So Shannon and Dean Hale wrote the novelization of the comics, which is like one of my favorite comics, and I'm doing like a Instagram, like sponsored Instagram post with Marvel, so I have the ears, and I can't get rid of them because even though they're like, I should get rid of them. This is the problem, is I don't get rid of things, but I just love them because they're Squirrel Girl ears, and I can't get rid of that. What's the book next to S? The spine looks pretty. Oh, that is Viper Wine by Hermione Eyre. And the cover is really pretty too. I think the UK cover is even nicer. So this is another one I'd recommend looking at the UK cover for. What are your thoughts on the recent trend of defacing books? If you mean like when people do like art in books or like highlighting things, I think it's wonderful. I mean, if they're your books, and I think like everyone has a different sort of approach to reading and how they think about books and how they treat books, and for me, I tend to flip-flop. Like, I love the idea of like having a book be very personal, especially a book that you love a lot, and like going through and like putting your mark in there and like having it be sort of a like almost collaborative reading experience. I think that's really cool. I never do it mostly because I'm just not motivated enough, but I think it's really cool. Natalie asked, do you find yourself moving away from YA and onto more diverse literary fiction? I love YA. I'll always love YA, and that's like what I want to write. And like when I do write, I write in that style. And I think it's really important. And I think a lot of the books in there are really good. I think that there are some not so great ones, and I think when things get when things start like using formulas over and over again, that gets frustrating. But I think that also happens in literary, where I'll you have sort of very similar tropes being used over and over again, but I'm just not as familiar with them yet. So I feel like I go through waves. Like right now, I'm both in the mood for like fluffy YA contemporary and dark thriller mystery books. And then a couple months ago, I was really in the mood for like really sad literary fiction. So I don't know. It kind of just depends on my mood. I feel like I would never say that that I prefer. Like I just think that I like all genres. Like I try not to. I don't know if I'm making any sense. This is why I like editing myself. Um, what is the yellow book next to All the Light We Cannot See? That is A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. And this one, it didn't win the Booker, but it was like one of the finalists a couple of years ago. And it is Own Voices with a Japanese main protagonist. It's actually weird because the main character is named Ruth, and then the author's name is Ruth, so yeah. But yeah, I love this cover. I think it's one of the like prettiest covers around. Okay. Just removing some people. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna remove a couple people. Love the internet, man. It's probably because I said the word feminism. I don't know, like the ears, people. If it was me unhauling, I'd be all over the place. I feel like I'm all over the place. Am I not? Because I feel like, I'm trying to be good at this. I loved round 2 of Diversathon. Did you guys plan it being during Trump's first few days in office on purpose? It really helped me stay focused. No, we realized that after we set the date, but figured that it would be helpful for people. For me, it was actually a really bad reading week. I feel like I did the Women's March, and then I came back and I just like following everything and not loving life. So I had a really hard time reading that week. But I do think that like talking to people on Twitter was super helpful. Like just having those Twitter chats where we could talk about the ways that we're like moving forward and still pushing for progress in culture and in our world. That was really helpful for me. But I'm really glad that you enjoyed it and that it helped you stay focused. Let me see. Okay, I'm just sorry, guys. I just need to like remove a couple of people. Does Diversathon happen multiple times a year? I remember it happening several months ago. Yeah, so we did it a few months ago, and we just really wanted to do it again. So that's what we did. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. We had to figure out what we're doing in the future as far as Diversathon and all of that. But I definitely think we want to do it again. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. I think I'm just gonna like ignore weird people and move on. Okay, moving on to the shelf. So we got all the books I recently got for Book of the Month, and I'm obviously not getting into those because I got them a week ago. But I talk about those in my most recent book haul in case that is of interest. Then I have a bunch of comics over here. Okay, they're so heavy. Am I getting rid of any of these? No. Yeah, no, I'm keeping all these. So we're just gonna put them back. I don't know, am I supposed to go through all of them? I feel like that's what normal people do on bookshelf tours, but like, there's so many. Fun Home by Alison Bechdel, the inventor of the Bechdel test. I didn't love this. I'm actually going to unhaul that. I really want to see the musical. I missed it when it was on Broadway, which is sad. But I read it, and I fully understand why people love it. Like, I get it. I do. It's brilliant. but I think the style that it was written in, which is like very dry and academic, just like wasn't for me. But I understand why that choice was made, and I understand why that was in and of itself a really smart choice in storytelling. But not my thing, so gonna unhaul that one. But I totally recommend picking it up and like reading it for yourself, because it is an amazing book. I just didn't love it, and I'm never gonna reread it. So Boxes and Saints, which I've had for ages, I got from Book Outlet, and I haven't read them, and I've never felt like a huge desire to read them, so I'm going to unhaul them. Book Outlet, man. Like, there's a reason why I have banned myself from purchasing anything anymore from that site. Okay, I'm like struggling. Then we have More Than This by Patrick Ness, which I love because I love everything Patrick Ness touches. The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness, which I haven't read yet, but I need to because I love everything that Patrick Ness touches. Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick, which is one of my favorite books of all time. Recommend that one a lot. Anna and the Swallow Man, which I read last year and really liked, but I'm going to unhaul it because I'm never going to reread it. It's like a magical realism World War II story. So if that piques your interest at all, I do recommend picking it up. And then 2 Veronica Mars books, which I'm actually going to unhaul also. Even though I really like them, I think they're really good for what they are, but I'm never going to reread them. I just liked them. Everything is falling apart over here. Okay, I got these 2 I just recently hauled. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Look at this. Like, okay, look at these end papers. I die every time I look at them. And then we have Our Own Private Universe by Robin Talley, keeping those 2. Let me just find some ones I am going to unhaul because, so I've got this series, which I really loved the first one, Shades of Milk and Honey, but I haven't picked up the second 2. I bought them from Book Outlet ages ago, and I'm just not invested enough to continue with them, and I have so many other books to read, so I'm gonna unhaul these. And I know someone who loves, these are like sort of very much so more Jane Austen, less on the satire, so like if you want a Jane Austen fantasy book that is more Austen and less satire, Shades of Milk and Honey. If you want more satire, Parasol Protectorate series. I have another copy of The Star-Touched Queen. Going to unhaul that one. I didn't realize I had 2. Outrun the Moon, keeping that one because I love Stacey Lee. Zodiac Star Force, one of my favorite comics. If you like Sailor Moon, you should read this one. It's really good. And like female friendships and diversity, all those things. Our Chemical Hearts. Heard mixed things about this one, and I just not super into it, so I'm gonna unhaul that one. We Should All Be Feminists, which I love. The Corpse Exhibition, which this is real dark, but I'm gonna keep it because I am probably going to use it for a video in the future. Frazzled and the Strange the Dreamer chapter sampler. I am unhauling both of these. So let me move some things around. I like kind of started putting books that I'm keeping on my bed too, so that's good. I'll have to go through those after this. Okay, I'm gonna look at comments. Sophia, Leonard Peacock is my very favorite book. Oh, yay! I love finding people who love that book too. It's so good. I feel like it's totally underrated. Have you read Jane Eyre? I have. I love it, but I read it like years ago, so I really need to reread it. Patrick Ness is my fave, but I'd recommend going to The Crane Wife with lower expectations. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Did you film it all during the Women's March? I did. I'm going to try and make a video out of that, but I just sort of filmed clips of it throughout the day, so I don't really have, I had to figure out what I want to do with that, but yeah, I will put something out there. I'm so behind on vlogs, so behind. Have you read The Host? I haven't. Is it good? I heard that it's actually like good, and so yeah, I'm intrigued too, but then she like hasn't continued the series, so like I don't know if I actually want to. Does it like end, like is it wrapped up? You know, that's the question. I really need to do this. I'm way too sentimental about my books. Jenny, I am the same. I am so sentimental about everything. I am a nostalgia, like, junkie. It's a problem. I hold on to things for so long, and it was honestly like traveling these past few months was what sort of is spurring this, because having to physically carry all the things that you own makes you really realize that, like, sometimes owning things is more of a burden than a help. And so that's something that, like, I've really been trying to work on, especially with clothes. I have so many clothes, so that's the next culling that's happening. What is your aim in reading? Do you read to understand the author's meaning or for yourself? A bit of both. Kind of depends. I just feel like I want to grow every time I read or have fun. It kind of just depends on each book, I guess, if that makes sense. I love The Host. Still waiting for the second book, Greetings from Poland. Yeah, that's the thing, is that I would read The Host if it had a second one. Although the next person, Megan, said that it doesn't need a sequel, so maybe. What did you think of Ember in the Ashes? I loved Ember in the Ashes. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand about myself, is that I loved this book, okay? Like, it was so good. I ended it, like, literally was, like, yelling. I was like, oh my gosh. But when I got to the second one, it took me so long. Like, I just couldn't get into it like I wanted to. So, yeah, I'm sad about that I didn't really get into the second one. I do want to try it again, but I just feel like it was so stressful of a reading experience that I have to be in a very particular mood in order to get myself to read it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Let me see, am I missing anything? Okay, cool. So I'm going to do the last few books here, and then I'm probably going to end this soon. So if you have any, like, final questions or anything, let me know, and I will get to those before I do that. These are the last few books that I'm going to be going through. Okay, so first I have The Golem and the Jinni by Helen Wecker. I love this cover. Isn't this beautiful? I think it's beautiful. I'm going to keep this book. I haven't read it yet, but I keep doing the same thing with this book because I almost unhaul this like once a year, but it's just so pretty. I have a problem. A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. I'm gonna unhaul this one. I started it and it just sort of fell a little flat for me, and it wasn't really what I wanted it to be. It's supposed to be like this very, I mean, it's kind of like what it sounds like. Like, it's a history of dragons, but it's about this woman who writes the book. So she's kind of like Newt Scamander in that sense, but like not nearly as wonderful or fantastic. So yeah, Let Me In. And I got this because at one point I was in the mood for a horror book, and I have not felt that way since. So yeah, gonna haul that one. Wool by Hugh Howey. This is another one that I started and didn't love as much. It had like a ton of hype in it because it was like the fantasy 50 Shades of Grey, not because it's like anything like 50 Shades of Grey, but because it was self-published before it was actually published by Simon & Schuster. So it had a lot of buzz around it because of that, but I didn't love it. I don't know. I didn't like the writing style very much, and I got like 50 pages in and gave up on it. That's sort of a running theme. I'm trying to be really good about, like, if I don't like a book, just being okay with DNFing it or not finishing it, because there are so many other books that I need to get through. Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson. Gonna unhaul this one. I just haven't really liked any of her books. And then The Magicians by Lev Grossman, which I'm going to keep because I like The Magicians. Okay, so that's like a good half of my bookshelf that I did just now. So hopefully that was semi-entertaining, I don't know. And then the rest is just sort of like total chaos, so I'm gonna do that separately. But I'm gonna run through the comments or the chat really quick and do that. Will I be at BEA this year? I won't. I'm so sad about this. I'm so salty because it came back to New York City this year, but I'm gonna be. This is okay. I'm not sad about it because I'm gonna be in Italy and Spain, so it's like not a bad thing. But I will be at VidCon if anyone's going to VidCon. Um, It'll be my first year. I'm kind of terrified. The main reason why I haven't gone in the past is because I really don't like crowds very much, and it just looks like a lot of crowds. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. Um, let's see. What was your favorite class in English minor? I had a Jane Austen class that was like amazing. I loved it. It made me fall in love with her writing so much more because we obviously read all of her books, but then we also read a lot from that time period, like manuals for women, like self-help books, and just like got to know what that culture was like then, and it just helped a lot in like understanding what she was doing, what she was writing about, and the good things that she did, the bad things that she did, and all of that. So that was probably my favorite English class, just because I feel like I use that still to this day. Um, Oh, the audiobook for The Golem and the Ginny is really good. Okay, so I might put that in my head to remember for next time I need an audiobook. What's your ideal number of TBR books to own? I don't know if I have an ideal number of TBR books. I just want to be better about buying books that I like think I will want to read for a long period of time, and not just because they have like a lot of hype around them, which I think for a lot of these like are from earlier booktube days when like I think sometimes when you first start booktube a lot of people fall into this trap of like just getting so excited about all the books, and so getting all the books, and some of these are like from BEA from years past. So yeah. um Oh, I'm sad I'm gonna miss you too, Kaylee. I might be there for like the first. No, actually, I won't because I'm. Never mind. Ignore that. Yeah, I'm really sad I'm missing it. Everyone's gonna be here, and I'm just not going to be, and I'll be really sad about it. Going to remove another person. Block. Goodbye. Uh, all right. So I think that's everything. I think I answered everything, but if you have any questions, you could tweet me. And thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope that it was semi-entertaining, and I'm excited to start this whole like getting rid of things process. So yeah, let me know how you all are doing over on Twitter and or just like wherever we are connected. And I'm gonna stop being awkward now and say goodbye. All right, bye. Hopefully I can stop this.